Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 14 of our F1 2004 career mode. Yes, we return this weekend here to the iconic Suzuka circuit ready for the Japanese Grand Prix. If you missed out on the video that went live a little while ago from Monza, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But for the first time this season, we could be a 3-time world champion today. As we head though here to Suzuka, 3 races left on the calendar. We have got a 43-point lead over Michael Schumacher. It's pretty simple. If I win this race, the championship, it is decided. Obviously, if I outscore Michael by 7 points in any other hypothetical scenario, the championship is decided. And, well, the last couple of races have gone pretty well for us. 3 third places in a row. Schumacher in that time has had 2 fourths, but he did get a win at the Hungarian ring. And I would expect Suzuka to be a lot more similar to Hungary than either Belgium or Italy has been more recently. Other than that, though, it has been BAR that have become the dominant force once again. Back-to-back 1-2 finishes. Both at the Temple of Speed and Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps as well. But just consistency all year long for us has hopefully made the difference. Could we be on the verge of a championship, of course, with McLaren, with Ferrari, and now with Toyota? Of course, if you're new, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel. We are trying to hit 150,000 subs at the moment as well. Click that join button if you want early access to future videos as well. But yeah, let's head then here to Suzuka. Well, both of Formula One's Japanese teams have won races this season, but will it be BAR? Will it be Toyota? We've had to take a 5-place grid penalty as we head into this weekend as well, which is a bit of a shame to be honest, but yeah, if we could somehow wrap up the championship today, I would be very, very happy. Of course, mainly because it's Toyota's home Grand Prix. We haven't often seen much success for the Japanese drivers or teams at their home race. A couple of poles, a couple of podiums, but nothing too major here. So if we could wrap up a world title for Toyota this weekend in front of the home crowd, I'm sure there is going to be a lot of fan support for us as well. But I would expect this to be a good track for Ferrari. And Michael Schumacher knows if he can just outscore me in these next couple of races, there is every possibility that this still goes down to the wire in Brazil. And I think we all know if we get there, anything can happen. I mean, this season, the performance swings have just been so dramatic in any which direction that ultimately, you know, it is still anybody's guess who would be champion. I know we got a little buffer, I know we got a bit of safety, but honestly, I just want to wrap this up as soon as I can to hopefully then mean, obviously, we can enjoy those final couple of races, because it really just has been a season where everything has kind of fallen into place for us as making our way down through 130 out there. Once again, you can see just how good those BAR cars are in a straight line, but I think it's going to be either a BAR or a Ferrari on pole. We've not had a bad qualifying effort. I mean, we're not that far away from fastest. We go P3. Well, there we are, Michael Schumacher, a critical pole position here in front of the Japanese crowd. David Coulthard will line up second in what has been a real turnout for McLaren this weekend. But I mean, look at that. Last weekend, BAR 2.3 seconds clear of anybody else. This weekend, first down to 10th, covered by just 0.7 of a second. Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren Mercedes, Toyota, BAR, and Williams all in the fight. Goes to show that when this mod works, it works fantastically, and there's definitely some balancing issues with where different team strengths lie. I mean, from us all the way down to Zolt Baumgartner, covered by 0.5 of a second. It is going to be tight as we head into the race, but of course, yeah, with our grid penalties, we've got a huge amount of work to do.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
Well, sadly for me, I was hoping as we get towards the tail end of the season that more and more drivers will take some grid penalties. Hasn't happened though. We will line up P8 ready for the start of the race today. 27 laps ahead of us though. I am looking forward to it. We've got to try and push through the pack. I know there is good speed in this car, but again, Michael Schumacher knows he just wants to keep this championship fight going for as long as he can, and that Ferrari is very, very quick around this venue. Ralf Schumacher alongside us though. It is 5 red lights. And it is lights out. Oh, and away we go. They're not off to the best start in the world as we will come under some pressure in towards turn 1. There goes Ralf and Juan Pablo Montoya. We will just hug the inside line through turn 1 and try and take it nice and easy there as Anthony Davidson slotting up in that second spot just ahead of David Coulthard. As well, Ralf and Montoya weave their way up through the S's on this opening lap. I've still got Rubens Barrichello trying to look for a move in that Jaguar. That's obviously lap 1. Everybody just trying to get some temperature into their tyres as well there. But a nice run up through the top of the circuit. We're going to be on the outside of JPM in towards the first Degner, and we'll just about squeeze by him. Oh, that got a little bit scary. Juan Pablo Montoya, not normally a driver that'll back out of anything. So, yeah, really did put a lot of faith in him then. Oh, that he wasn't just going to try and overly commit in towards the corner there as through the exit of the hairpin on this opening lap. Too sure where Giancarlo is. I believe he's still running in P4. So, I mean, we want to have, obviously, you know, there's a bit of a battle going on between us and BAR, not only in the Constructors' Championship, but of course there is a bit of pride associated with who can get the better result this weekend. As look at that, Ralf Schumacher really struggling to get the power down out of Spoon Corner, and as we make our way down towards 130R, I mean, you can just see how quick that Ferrari is, and I cannot risk front wing damage early on. I will risk a dive bomb, though, to the inside there, as we will power through against Ralf and up then into 8th. Those Williams cars definitely seem to struggle up through the exit of Dunlop, and we've just got so much confidence by the time we get up in towards the Degners. But can we try and have a look around Fernando Alonso? Been a really disappointing year for Williams for the most part. I think they were hoping for a lot more. Just down the inside we will go. Alonso, if we kind of caught him by surprise, but another move made. I can surely hope at this stage of the World Championship, Giancarlo Fisichella won't try to fight me too much. So you try and get a nice run out of that final corner, but looks like already Michael Schumacher beginning to struggle then, seemingly under pressure from David Coulthard as Anthony Davidson trying to scamper away up at the front of the order, and Schumacher really making a hash of that down at the first couple of corners. Of course, Ralf not too far behind him in the World Championship either, but after another tough qualifying around Schumacher's championship hopes. I mean, imagine if he was able to win his first World Championship during his debut season with Ferrari. So I can just see that how out of shape we get down through the S's. It's so important with these grooved tyres that you get the car positioned exactly where you need it. But like I said, hopefully Fisichella not going to put up too much of a fight. Oh, as we've got yellows out, I think that's a mechanical failure for someone just in front. That appears to be Kimi Räikkönen. And how many times did we see this back in the early 2000s? With Räikkönen's McLaren exploding in front of the rest of the field? I guess it's another spot. Come on then, we need to get a run on Giancarlo. Of course, identical machinery. We seem to actually be running less wing more than our teammate this weekend as we get all over the curbs. Not going to stop the Italian from trying to defend though, but we will go late on the brakes around the outside and up then into 5th spot here. It looks like Michael Schumacher was able to defend from Coulthard that time, but Davidson is gone. Once again, I think that was Coulthard and Michael Schumacher going wheel to wheel through 130R. They are really getting the elbows out with each other. Schumacher, brilliant qualifying effort yesterday, but it's just not got the pace come race day Sunday, as we will set a new fastest lap of the day. As look at Baumgartner trying to get involved in it as well then. Michael Schumacher to the outside, down at turn 1 on DC. Definitely not able to make that move happen. But clearly, yeah, that new fastest lap goes to showcase that we've got the speed today. And if these guys keep tripping each other up, hopefully we can try and move our way through and kind of hunt down Anthony Davidson at the front of the order. I want to win this race for Toyota, for all the Japanese team and the crowd that supported us all year. Look at that, getting a huge up and under on Zob Baumgartner. Maybe he was just taken surprise by how much of a run we did get there, but kind of jumped out of the way in a little bit of shock. Can we get a run on Michael? Oh, a big dive bomb on my former teammate, as we'll get it slowed down without contact, but we will get the power down on the exit. Get a warning for a collision. I believe that was for banging wheels off of the turn, but up then into third. Coming to the end then of lap 6 here, David Coulthard desperately trying to defend from us as we make our way through 130. There is, look at the amount of grip we've got through that corner, trying to fill DC's mirrors. I've already overtaken one of my former teammates here, and I would love to overtake another. I wonder if Coulthard ever kind of regrets staying with that McLaren team, because we have not seen the success he deserved inside this game. But I think, you know, you could argue the same thing happened IRL for the Scotsman as well. He gets a little bit out of shape through turn 1. Michael Schumacher as well. I mean, Ferrari have had a really, really quick car this season, but especially through those opening few Grand Prix, Michael just seemed allergic to winning in this series, and ultimately that has cost him so many points that once other teams caught up, once he really began to struggle, it has been so difficult for him. An uphill battle against his former teammate there as well. Coulthard makes a little bit of a mistake through the first Degner. He'll gather it up though nicely on the exit, as we are still just trying to fill his mirrors. But all this is doing is allowing Anthony Davidson to try and run away. No idea why the team are recommending a new strat this early on. They just want us to extend this first stint. I've got no real interest. Come on then, let's see if we can get a run on Coulthard here. We've got 20 laps still to try and hunt down Anthony Davidson if we need to. There's 2 Brits in 2 Japanese cars. Hopefully we'll battle for the win today. Oh, down the inside of Coulthard, but way too hot on the way through that chicane, as we will have to try and take the other layout out of the final corner. We'll gather it up and we'll carry on going. And luckily, we're only going to lose the 1 spot. I mean, look at that then. Another new fastest lap of the day. And we're not stuck right in the dirty air with the car in front. We are really, really quick this afternoon, as we took almost a second out of Anthony Davidson. You do just have to be super careful with the car over the curbs. See, with these old lighter machines, you could not attack curbs like you see in modern day Formula 1. We go Anthony Davidson. That's a very early pit stop then. So maybe again, I didn't even factor that in, that Davidson might try and 2-stop this race. We saw it at Monza, but of course it made no difference to BAR. They were just that much quicker than everybody else. If he 2-stops this race today, it is a very, very slim chance that he even wins. Are we finally close enough though back to David Coulthard to maybe take the lead of the Grand Prix for the first time this afternoon? Nice momentum down through 130 hours again. I mean, come on, DC, I'm there. I got it slowed down on the apex, and Coulthard just turning into me like Alain Prost. Clearly the McLaren man watching some of the old tapes, as we will move through and into the lead of the Grand Prix for the first time today there, as Michael Schumacher and Zob Baumgartner into the pits a bit further back. And I'm sure all the Toyota supporters here cheering us on and loving that rather aggressive move. Now we have been unleashed at the front. We have got to try and disappear from the rest of the field here. Like I said, I don't know what Anthony Davidson's doing, but I can see the gap 14 seconds back. So of course, if he is only 1-stopping, he's still got a decent margin. He just might be trying to go a bit longer in his second stint there, as there you go. Davidson immediately new fastest lap of the day. It is not going to be easy to try and catch him up. I've completely forgot to pit. I'm such an idiot. Oh no. I mean, it's not the end of the world. These tyres are hanging on absolutely fine. But of course, I mean, I can't dive in this lap. Otherwise, I'll ruin Giancarlo's race. And of course, I do still want to think about the constructors. If there is any slim chance we can win that, which with a win today, Obviously, if we can win today, would definitely help us out. But at the moment, Anthony Davidson is flying along. But now with a bit of luck, Giancarlo will hold him up. So it might just swing back in our favour somewhat. It's not really worked out very well. Anthony Davidson has found a way around Giancarlo Fisichella, and well, therefore our teammate hasn't really done me as much of a favour as I was hoping. He has cost him about a second and a half, though, on this lap, so I guess there's kind of food for thought there. Thanks, Giancarlo, I think. It's been a bit of a shame for our teammate as well, because he does seem to have come alive a bit more in the second half of the year, but he's just so far behind everybody else in the World Championship that it's kind of irrelevant. I'm praying he dives into the pit lane now, though, otherwise they're going to be very annoyed as David Coulthard is in. Yeah, otherwise I've just extended my stint by an extra lap for no reason. Please tell me he's pitting. Yeah, there you go, Fizzy in. Beautiful. Well, there we go then. That paints a picture, doesn't it, about what our rivalries are looking like at this stage of the campaign. Anthony Davidson 15 seconds back, and then a further 14 seconds behind him, Michael Schumacher in that Ferrari there, just ahead of Zolt Baumgartner and Ralf Schumacher running up in P5. So he's had a pretty good recovery drive so far after what has been a couple of very disappointing races. Slam on the anchors, though, as we make our way in. Come on, Toyota, give me a good pit stop. It's what we need here today. It's not bad, 2.5 seconds. I'm not going to complain. As here comes Anthony Davidson then out of the final corner. You can hear him fly past. Love that. Love that sound of those V10s at full chap. Back on the run in towards turn 1, but we have got fresher tyres. We have taken a bit more time out of him, and like I said, yeah, we've got fresher tyres towards the checkered flag. My only question remains, does Davidson have to pit again? It's going to give us completely the wrong name.
We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:34.5.
Well, there we go then. So the team believe that Anthony Davidson has another stop to make in this race. BAR, again, rapid, but they shred their tyres. Oh, there we go then. Right as we're on cue for hopefully a new fastest lap of the day, Anthony Davidson peels into the pit lane, and we will move into championship winning territory. This car this afternoon has come absolutely alive. Struggled a little bit in qualifying, but I always knew the speed was there. As where will Anthony Davidson return to the circuit? He's going to come out behind Michael. He's probably going to come out behind Zolt, but of course he needs to pit again. In fact, I think, yeah, Ferrari, look at that then. So once Zolt Baumgartner's pit, Ferrari are probably going to be second and third in this race, which for them, not ideal in the Drivers' Championship, especially, obviously, factoring in who they're going to lose it to, but at least helps them in the Constructors. There we go, Zolt Baumgartner into the pit lane as we start lap 20, and that should hopefully give Giancarlo Fisichella a freebie in this race. I don't know, like I said, what position he is running. I'm hoping it's 6th, maybe. I'm hoping it's going to be 6th place here, so at least that we don't lose out to Ferrari, and hopefully take some points out of BAR in the bigger picture. But yeah, Fisichella definitely has been a mediocre number 2 at best. I think it's safe to say over the course of this season, but with just a handful of laps to go then here at Suzuka, we've just got to keep the car on the island. We are in control of this race. Everything, the engine, everything like that looks good at the moment. Nobody seems to be able to threaten us here. And arguably, I think with the exception of Monaco, this has probably been the best this car's felt all season. Well, with just a handful of laps to go then here from Suzuka, it really is a nice time for a bit of reflection. And I tell you what, number one, this track is so much better with the old school lighter cars of this era. The modern Formula 1 cars feel super, super clunky around this track. But yeah, I must admit, when I first said I was going to be racing for Toyota this season, I honestly had hoped that it would take me until kind of 2006, 2007 to win a championship with the team. It was hopefully going to be the long-term plan to finish the Ultimate Career Mode inside this game, but I loaded up the 2004 mod, and the first race I tried to do, the Toyota car was 8 seconds off of the pace. I don't know whether I downloaded it wrong or whatever happened, but I tried it again. It was still 8 seconds off the pace, so I had to tweak some figures inside the game files early on, and in the first couple of races, The Toyota was, you know, kind of about where I'd hoped for it to be inside this game. But, you know, when I first started this Ultimate Career Mode back with Arrows in 1998, I had no idea kind of what this series was going to turn into, how long it was going to go on for, or anything like that. It has easily been the longest series I've ever done on an F1 game. I think the only thing that can even come close is going to end up being F1 Championship Edition, if I ever win a championship inside that game as well. But yeah, I mean, this mod, it's a bit of a shame. I completely understand why obviously Geki doesn't do anything with it anymore. You know, it's why I don't really tend to promote it as much. I mean, you can still obviously download it. It is still, you know, accessible at a small price, but obviously Geki's working on much, much bigger things. But the amount of work he put into this, and obviously all the team around him as well, is just astonishing, honestly. I know it's got its issues, I know it's not perfect, but to undertake the task that he did to try and make this mod a reality, I, you know, just cannot thank him enough, because it was ridiculous when he first announced this project. And the fact that, you know, with a few issues here and there, with a few kind of limitations of the game, what he was able to create has been nothing short of astounding. I apologise, I haven't done as much of this series more recently as I probably should have. You know, it kind of just fizzled out, I think, in terms of interest. You know, most people aren't so invested. You know, most people don't want to watch a classic F1 season. They want to watch, you know, the latest and greatest and everything like that. But I've got a soft spot for this sports history as well, and to kind of relive some of this V10 era has been really, really good fun. I'm not going to sit here and say that this season will absolutely categorically be the last I ever do. On the other hand, I'm certainly not going to sit here and guarantee that I'm going to do another one in the future. I've been umming and ahhing. Maybe I create Mat 2 and 2 Retro at some point. You know, where series like this, F1 CE, and a few other bits and pieces could become reality as well in the future. But honestly, you know, as you guys are well aware, my brain is a constant, just absolute mishmash of ideas of series I'd love to do. But 2 laps remaining then, here from Suzuka, from the Japanese Grand Prix. Toyota, they never got to experience success, particularly in Formula 1. They are known as one of the greatest failures the sport has ever seen. And if we can just rewrite the history books and showcase in this era, this alternate timeline, Toyota, race winners this season, and we're going to go on for a world championship. It hasn't been the most dominant campaign in the world. I mean, this is only going to be win number 4 of 14 races, but Ferrari, Toyota, BAR, McLaren and Williams constantly taking points away from each other. It has been a huge amount of fun nonetheless, and well, I knew coming into this campaign, consistency was going to be key, of course. A 3-time world champion with 3 different teams as well. I believe that means we are now only behind Fangio in terms of most teams that a driver has won a championship with. Of course, quite a few drivers have 2, but I don't believe there's anybody else in Formula 1 history, maybe one or two that I'm forgetting, that had 3 world championships with 3 different teams that they've won world championships with as well. Of course, we've kind of rewritten Schumacher's dominant era of Formula 1, but a 3-time world champions club is still very, very exclusive. Of course, Michael still belongs there after his glory, I believe, in 1999. And Senna, Alain Prost, of course, the great Fangio himself. Jackie Stewart as well, of course. Niki Lauda as well. And today, we are less than a lap away now from joining that record book here. I've got Jenson Button, and I believe that's his teammate. Oh no, Justin Wilson actually involved in this squabble as well, as Mark Genet there. So it's Button versus the Minardis that seem to be trying to create a wall of Formula 1 cars. There is all just about squeezed by Justin Wilson. That would be the most Mat 2 and 2 thing in the world, wouldn't it? Get collected on the very last lap here. But as Davidson hunts down Michael Schumacher further behind, I don't believe we've ever seen a Japanese team win the Japanese Grand Prix. I could be mistaken, but I don't believe it has ever happened in the sport. Today, though, of all days, like I said, when I announced that I was going to be with Toyota this season, This wasn't part of the plan. I genuinely never thought a season during our debut campaign with the team would kind of give us what it has done. But through the final couple of corners, like I said, only 4 victories this campaign, including today. Consistency, it has paid dividends, and so often have we been able to outscore where this car probably belongs. In towards the final few corners with 2 races to go, we can begin to celebrate here at Japan in front of the home crowd for one of the home teams. Out of the final corner, a dominant victory here at Suzuka. We are a 3-time world champion.
Great job, you've done everything we wanted today.
That's it then for another fantastic Grand Prix here in Japan. A brilliant victory that has thoroughly earned the applause from the sellout crowd here today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I think the key here was just the quality of the racecraft, you know? I mean, how many overtakes did they make overall? I'm sure we have a stat person keeping score somewhere, and it's fantastic to watch, wasn't it? This is a strategic sport at the end of the day, but it's always really gratifying to see close-fought battles on track. It's what all the fans are after.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
Well, there we are then, the full 25 points this weekend, and although the game doesn't show it, that is the World Championship, of course. I forgot fastest lap bonus point is still a thing inside this series, but with a 50-point buffer, it is done. You know, mathematically, maybe not technically inside the game, but I'm celebrating it like it is here. Anthony Davidson comes through for 3rd ahead of Coulthard, Fisichella. Ralf Schumacher, they're disappointing to drop all the way to 6th in the end, just ahead of Zob Baumgartner. Both of those Williams cars, and then Rubens Barrichello picks up the final points-paying position. Championship-wise, sorry, Kimi Räikkönen, the only driver to finish a lap down. Championship-wise, though, like I said, 50 points. Technically, there's 52 available, but you never win with fastest lap. Just kind of, again, the weird way this mod works. Basically just means that it's whoever's last on the lead lap normally takes fastest come at the checkered flag. Still a close battle, though, going on between those two Ferraris, as Anthony Davidson now just 7 points back behind Ralf Schumacher as well. Coulthard re-jumps Montoya and Räikkönen with that result today, and Fisichella helps out the team as well in the bigger picture. And yeah, Rubens Barrichello with another point on the board, still 4 behind Alexander Wurz with just 2 races to go. Constructors-wise, though, Ferrari 44 clear of BAR, so if they outscore them and us next weekend, that will be the Constructors' Championship going back to Maranello once again. We're pretty safe now ahead of Williams and McLaren, but only 14 points between them. I want to make sure, though, that we at Toyota finish as the top Japanese team. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula... Thank you all so much for watching, though. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for the US Grand Prix.